Having a little bit of an issue with the sound on that. Well, sorry, folks. Welcome to the 17th episode of Abyssal Musings. We have with us today my co-host, Lawrence Knight.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
And I am Samuel the Infamous. I've also got like 18 friggin' things playing, so I could hear myself in my own ears. It was weird.
LOL.
Yeah, where's Richard when you need him, right? So, welcome everybody. Looks like we've got Shadow of Hawk was here briefly. He actually mentioned earlier on his show that he wasn't going to make it because he's trying to get his sleep patterns done right. So, in honor of that.
Okay. First of all, I want to make sure everybody's hearing me because I'm looking at the other video, the chat, and so you can. It's how it moves a little slow, moves a little behind, and I was like, I don't see my voice box moving. Before we get into anything, now this is where I'm going to take a page out of a well-known sportscaster with the way that I explain stuff. So, as many of you know, there is a ongoing situation with certain individuals
Oh, jeez.
who for some reason seem to think that they are always posting on this show before me. Now, I'm not going to say any names, but these people know who they are. And people who are in the chat or have ever watched the show, you know who they are. If you've seen the chat on Saturday, you know who they are. Let me explain something to you guys. I will always be first. Just because I haven't posted something, at least when you saw it, doesn't mean I didn't. You see, in today's case, a certain person posted about a certain clown who seems to have made it clear that he is my arch nemesis, which is fine, because Joker, you can have it your way. We can turn this entire space into Gotham City, and you know who ends up going to Arkham every time. So we can have it your way. Now, as for the Joker fan who posted earlier,
He just did again.
Hold on. The Joker fan who made it a point to try to say that clown was first. No, he wasn't. Because I saw the post the moment it was put up this morning. I want to explain to you guys exactly what has happened and why I'm not actually upset tonight. Because what you've all seen right now is a setup. Because I knew that if I said something this morning, I always take a photo of it and I send it to my partner in crime, Samuel. The rest of you, unless you've checked, you don't see it. Many of you work, you got some other things going on, fine. But I have to come back on and either do it again or I have to let somebody know that, hey, the owner of this channel already has proof that I was first. So this time what I did is just as I was getting ready to log on, I said, you know what? I'm going to wait. Because some joker is going to jump on, is going to laugh, is going to say he was first. Now, while I never saw the clown do it, according to his fan, he did it. So, that's two jokers that fell for my trap. And then I got an extra treat because that blasted kohai fell for it too.
Blasted.
It's better than the other word. You know, YouTube has its new community guidelines, so I can't say what I would normally say. So
You don't swear that much anyway.
that blasted kohai walked into it too. So it seems like the only person, well, okay, I'm not going to say that because other people didn't fall for it also anyway. But I'm just saying this, especially to the clown. Welcome to Gotham City. We're going to do this your way, sir. Since you and the young one, the young testicle, seems to think that you keep beating me to my own show. So both of you can get this work.
I think I've got something for that.
I'll add you to the list. You want to start this? I know some graphic art. You want to start this? Sam, we can start this. We can start this. I will take all of you all. And I bet you Ryan's a mercenary. And after what you guys did to him, I'm willing to bet that he'll help me out. Cat's going to be neutral. We already know that. We already know that. So unless you go dig up Monster Child or Meister Child or Meister, I keep forgetting what he calls himself.
Maester Chow.
Meister, good man. But like I said, you can all get this work because I will always be first. And I was able to trick at least 3 of you to do exactly what I wanted without saying a word. Let's start the show.
Yeah, that's right, guys. He wanted you to be before him. Dun, dun, dun. Trap sprung.
Now, on to other business.
Well,
I'm sure.
hello. First of all,
Yes.
hello, everybody. Just trying to get all your comments on there so that we could, because we kind of just skipped past that part. But yes, hello, everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining us. That's it. That's all I got.
Okay. So, Michelle, email Sam and let us know what's going on. Okay. As many of you know, Amira, our wonderful exile lioness, came back on Saturday from a 2-week exile for basically no reason. And I've said it before. I don't know if I've said it on the show, but I know I've said it at least to you, Sam, and a few other people. Looking at what's happening, I believe that someone in particular has been assigned her channel. And I believe that this person is intentional, is trying to make her rage quit. I know I forget how the topic came up, Sam. That but I believe it's a woman that's doing it, and I believe that the woman has pink and purple hair. You get where I'm going with it, and the reason why I say that is, and it's no disrespect to you ladies, but I'm looking at how men and women, when we have a problem with something, and of course you have your outliers. You have, some people like to toy with things, and some people just like to cut the cord right away and they move on. But this person has been messing with Amira for a very long time, going back 2 years, and they'll strike a channel or two, then they'll give her a warning sign, you did this, 2.5 years ago, just striking them for nothing. And then, letting them fall off and then doing it again. Well, after Saturday's stream, everything went fine. We gave you guys all the information, her Rumble her second Exile Lioness account that she just opened, and then she did another show on Sunday. Whoever this POS is that has her account went onto her Saturday show, struck it, took it down, and suspended her again for another 2 weeks, claiming that she broke some community guidelines when on that channel she'd actually done nothing wrong at all except for tell you guys exactly what I just said and give out her new information. So whoever did this, evidently pulled the channel down so that to try to limit the number of people that would get her new channel information. That's what I suspect. Um, and of course, you guys know how YouTube rolls. Unless you got 100,000 people blowing up their account, their Twitter account, they're not going to really care about a couple of people going on and saying, hey, you guys have somebody messing with this lady's account, because let's face it, her views her views ain't that popular, and going on there and saying something on Twitter might just turn around and just get her channel taken down entirely. Which at this point we're scratching our head wondering why are you playing? It's like they're being vindictive. And most guys won't do that. Most guys would just take the channel down and be done with it. But having been around a lot of women, just in general, I've seen it when they really don't like somebody and they really want them to feel the pain, and they'll start doing vindictive stuff like this. Now, there are men that do it. I've seen men do that too. But I'm just on the average, because I do not want to disrespect any of our ladies, any of our female listeners. But I'm just looking at what's going on, and like I said, and this person, it seems I almost have it down to where their work schedule is, because the strikes happen on Saturday nights and they happen on Wednesday nights, and this person a few weeks ago, woke her
Josh.
up at what it was like 2:30 in the morning, and was striking videos left and right. At one point had given her 3 strikes, which totally deactivates her channels, and then took took the strike off, brought it back up, and then did another strike, but kept it at 2.
Hey, Carrie.
So it's obvious that somebody's trying to make her rage quit. And even with YouTube's views, I'm wondering if what this person is doing, is even okay and according to their guidelines, which they really don't really care anyway. So that's my rant. That's my opening rant. How was your day?
Oh, not too shabby. Did some walking around in the frozen hellscape that I live in. So that was fun. It was like right in that sweet zone where it's like slushy and so it's still slick. Yeah, that was just, but gross, because obviously with all the tire treads and stuff kicking up mud all over everything. Anyway, long story short, I got splattered a few times by some trucks and such. That was aggravating. But had some errands to run today. I have actually taken some time off work because I have some things in my personal life that I am needing to square up, and the way my hours work, it doesn't really work out well with that. So I just took a week off so I could deal with some stuff. But yeah, today a lot of walking, because I mean, it's a small town, so it's not like it's far, but with the terrain the way that it is right now, it makes it a bit of a challenge to get around without breaking my goddamn neck. And before you say it, we're past the 8 minutes.
Well, no, I wasn't. That's not what I was going to say at all. What I was going to say is your legs, your calves must be approaching,
Olympian levels.
Yeah, man. I was like, dude,
Yeah.
you and that 40-minute walk you're doing.
Here's the thing, man. It's like I didn't even get a license till I was 28 years old. I didn't own a car till I was almost 30. And that was I mean, I've only been driving for about 12, 13 years, and I'm into my 40s now. Before that, I walked everywhere. And if I didn't walk, I had a bicycle. So my calves and my thighs have always been relatively beefy given my frame.
Mm.
But you can tell when you're getting older, because it's harder to do.
Yeah, that's why I was like, you sure you want to be doing that? But
Yeah. I think Shadow's determined to keep calling you JV. It's funny, but at the same time, while I got you here, Shadow, I'm gonna have to do it. But I'll be gentle this time. Just a little bit of street walking.
Wow. And see, and here's the thing too, and Now, see, and Shadow, and I want you to know this. Shadow, I want you to know this because you came up in conversation, what, about 3, 4 days ago? Sam, what did I say to you about Shadow? About you posting that photo constantly? What did I say?
Eventually, he's going to go up into a clock tower with a rifle.
Exactly. And after that, I said, let's give the young man a break.
I have backed off somewhat. I don't
You
think I
just
can just somewhat. That was one meme for the course of the show. I'm not going to do it again for the rest of the show. And it wasn't the other one, which is significantly worse.
Josh, just so you know, to our knowledge, she hasn't done anything as of yet. I think we're still planning some content, so but stuff is coming. Just stay tuned.
Yeah. Here you go, Shadow.
Oh Lord,
Help your little feelings feel a little better.
I didn't even know you did that, or did
I
Kohai
didn't.
do that?
Yeah, Kohai's done all of my memes.
Kohai does some good stuff though. That one she just did for Mira was really good.
Yeah. By the way, Shadow, that was in no way an invitation to do so. Do not go up into a clock tower with a rifle ever. It's not a good idea. You're not going to come out on top of that. Yes, Beak. Her last stream is up, which is hilarious to me because that was way more offensive than the Saturday stream that did get taken down. However, guys, we had a little bit of a technical glitch. I'm going to get with Amir and figure this out as soon as we can. So it is backing up her stuff on Rumble, but it's doing it in the wrong location. So we need to go back in and make some adjustments so that it's on the link that everybody's currently subscribing to. When that happens, though, I did notice something interesting. The Saturday stream that was pulled down is up on Rumble, which kind of bodes well for other things that have been pulled down on her channel. So they may be back up eventually too on Rumble. But that said, if you scroll down on my community tab, there are links to both her new YouTube channel and her Rumble channel there, or you can go to her last live stream. The pinned tweet or the pinned comment in the comments section also has both of those links. Please do go subscribe. She can't stream on Rumble until she's got 100 subscribers, so the more we get, the better. And we'll work it out there. So, all right, Michelle, I'll check that out as soon as I can. Meantime, I think that's pretty much it for housekeeping. I started game streaming again, guys. If you are interested in that sort of thing, some of you guys caught me last night doing it.
Yeah, and there's a story time behind that. Just hold on, I'm just responding to Michelle.
There's no story. Just go watch the stream.
There is a story behind that. If you guys want to hear the story, you know what? Put one in the chat if you want to hear the story. How Samuel the Infamous, how his great streaming career just went right back up.
Man, it took like a month off of doing those.
And it wasn't long enough.
Well, like I said, okay.
Looky at all the ones.
Carrie, you only get a vote once.
I'm still counting it. One for each of his personalities. Now, anyway, so I'm still going to count it. Okay, so here's what happened, everybody. So I am on the tail end of the flu. A lot of people don't know this. Yesterday was not great for me at all. I was pretty much bedridden. And there's a story about that too. Relaxed on the couch. My son was nice enough to go to sleep, take his nap. He likes to put himself to sleep, which I was glad, so that he wasn't hitting me or throwing stuff at me while I was asleep because he thinks it's funny. I wake up, roll over, and I see that my son has pooped his pants, and the poop has gone all the way up his back and has cemented onto his skin. Now I'm sick, and I'm getting up and I'm scrubbing this boy clean. After a long, hard day of laying with a fever, body aches, the whole nine, Oh, and the insomnia that I get hit with routinely, I finally am able to go to sleep. And I'm sleeping. And from what I could tell, I was probably right when I lost consciousness, I was probably asleep for about 5 minutes. All of a sudden, I hear beep, beep, beep. So I'm jumping up. I'm like, what's going on? Who, what, when, where? Smoke detector? What's going on? Like I'm disoriented because I'm sick. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm looking at my wife. I'm like, what's going on? Did somebody burn something? What's going on? My wife is knocked out. Uh, I look at my phone. My phone is blinking. I look at it, and what do I see? Why don't you go ahead and tell them, Sam? What do I see?
I mean, I was doing a gaming stream. It wasn't even that late. You got to keep in mind, Larry's on a different, like 2 time zones over from me, so it was significantly later for him than it was for me.
Oh yes,
However,
but you know what I saw? It was a notification. Who sent the notification
I didn't
that woke
send
me up?
shit.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
It's not how that works. You click the little bell that does the notifications. I have nothing to
And
do with
who
that.
asked me? And who asked me to click the notification? Out of in the name of friendship.
You could just turn the volume off on it.
So that I can miss anything else. I have a friend that called me, was stranded at 2 o'clock in
What
the
are you
morning. I ain't
missing when
turning
you're
my
asleep? No, just turn the volume for the notifications off. You can still keep
listen.
the ringer on.
How about you start gaming about 2 hours sooner?
Because I was doing other things 2 hours before that.
Or better yet, quit your job and quit your job and just game all day. Who cares if you get kicked out of your place and end up homeless?
Y'all hear this, man? He wants me to quit my job and game in the daytime so that he isn't woken up by notifications that he has every ability to turn off.
I shouldn't have to do that. If you gamed at a decent time for all of the time zones,
I mean, it's pretty early in the morning in England when I do it.
England doesn't count.
Oh, where's UA when we need her? Anyway, so Larry's obviously upset about something that is totally within his control to fix.
Anyway, folks. and you know what? And here's the thing. And it's funny that you're laughing. Because the more I thought about it as I rolled back over and sleep to try to go back to sleep, and I thought about it. You're laughing. Who else laughs that participates in this channel?
I mean, everybody.
No.
It's part of why we do this.
No, it's one person in particular who laughs a lot and likes to laugh at my expense. And I'm pretty sure that it was his idea for you to do what you did last night.
So all of a sudden it's someone else's fault. That's
It's not just somebody else. You know exactly who I'm talking about. You know exactly who I'm talking about.
Share with the class then.
Why don't you share with the class?
Because I'm not sure who you're talking about.
You know who I'm talking about because I'm not going to fall for his trap. He's not going to sue me for defamation. You know who I'm talking about. You were talking about him earlier. You and Shadowhawk, you guys were having a great laugh at my expense with a video that Shadowhawk did a few weeks ago.
Oh, are you talking about Joker Boys?
Exactly.
Okay, because there's also Legion and Carrie and Amira.
No. Carrie don't even have time to do any of that stuff. Amira ain't gonna do it. She got other stuff on her mind. She ain't gonna bother doing that. You and that clown came up with that because you know when I go to sleep.
He had nothing to do with it either, dude. I haven't even talked to him. I mean, I talked to him a little bit today, but I didn't talk to him yesterday.
You expect me to believe that?
You can believe what you want. It's true.
Okay.
Yeah. The short he's going on about is the one that you made, Shadow. It's a little too much information, man. So that said, well, hell, we're
did you send me the email?
yeah, yeah. I let you know in the private chat that I had.
I don't see it. But anyway, let's continue on with the show. I've
Now that
received
we're,
nothing from you.
you should have. It's been forwarded.
Okay, there we go. All right. So today, guys, we definitely have a show. Shadow, I'm going to pretend you didn't say that. Anyway, we've got some stuff for you guys tonight. We've got for you fantasy film fans like myself and Michelle.
Good night, Carrie.
We have news of a Lord of the Rings movie that's going to be coming out next year. And the funny thing is, I just found out about this. There's been all kinds of news reports about it, all from I think from like February of last year, and I just found out about it. Got something else about about working today, workers quitting, and just the shift of what's going on today. We're going back to work, and just I don't know if it's a. I mean, there's always a divide between business owners and workers, but this was a little bit peculiar. Um, for you gamers, Xbox has is implementing something that's caused a bit of a storm this week. We'll see how well that works. We've got a fantasy movie quiz for Mr. Samuel. We're gonna find out what kind of fantasy person he is, find out who he is. Well, actually, I think it's you remember that time quiz that we did the last time? It was like 6 minutes, and we were running right. Yeah, it's a fantasy movie matchup. Remember that last
Yeah,
one we did? It was pretty fun. So got one of those, and we have a trailer for you guys for an upcoming movie. So
that's pretty cool, Michelle.
let's see.
It's I'm pretty sure it's not from Amazon. This is the if you haven't heard about it, Suka, this is the War of the Rohirrim movie, which is animated, apparently anime style, from like, yeah, actual anime people. You know, so I don't know. I don't know too much about it myself aside from what I've heard indirectly from other sources like in the entertainment sphere. I mean, this has been mentioned around a few times, but we haven't talked about it here. So, give me a second. I'll bring it up on El Screeno. This is a Wikipedia article, though, folks, so take it with a grain of salt. So, Lord of the Rings War of the Rohirrim is an upcoming anime fantasy directed by Kenji Kamiyama from a screenplay by Phoebe Gittins and Artie Papagiorgio. Based on the novel Lord of the Rings by... Jesus, I can't touch anything without pop-ups. Hold on. Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien, produced by New Line Cinema and Warner Brothers Animation, which is good because... yeah. Well, here's the thing. It wouldn't be made by Amazon anyway, because they don't have the rights to any of these properties or names.
Yeah.
They have the rights to a certain set of the appendices concerning a very specific period in time. Everything else involved in the Lord of the Rings they cannot touch, which is why they certain names they haven't been able to say, certain things. Hell, the Harfoots, for example, in the recent piece of crap that Amazon put out. They call them Harfoots the entire time. They don't call them hobbits because, number one, hobbits didn't exist at that period of time. They hadn't come into Middle Earth yet. And number two, they don't have the right to use the name Hobbit. So there was some legal issues there. So this apparently has... this doesn't make sense, dude. It says it's set 183 years before the events depicted in The Two Towers. Stars Brian Cox, who is an excellent actor, guys, as Helm Hammerhand, who's mentioned in The Two Towers. It says that Miranda Otto was coming back as Eowyn, though. That doesn't make sense. If it's 183 years before Brian Cox would be like her great 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 grandfather, unless there's
Wow.
some kind of like fast forward or she's like bookending it with the storytelling or some shit, which would make sense. I mean, I could see that. It says, okay, so they fast tracked it in June of 2021, so almost 2 years ago, and animation work had begun by then after it was announced. So the animation started, but they were working on a script later. That's weird. You'd think they'd have a script ready for that. Anyway, I mean, we're a little ways out from this. It says the official release date for the time being is in 2024, so we've got another year and some change before that happens.
That year is going to come a lot faster than you think.
Yeah, but it's also possible that Hollywood collapses entirely by then.
Doubtful.
It could happen. I mean, a lot of these companies, Warner Brothers in particular, are hemorrhaging money right now.
All right, Mr. Pessimistic.
No, there's nothing pessimistic about that. That's a fact.
Yeah, I know it's a fact, but still.
So, yeah, Suka, it could be cool. I don't know if it's tied in at all with the Peter Jackson movies that, I mean, I'm one of those guys who read the books and then I saw the movies. So there are some things I take issue with because I'm one of those guys sometimes. But overall, those movies were great. I just can't watch them anymore at all. So it happens when you live with somebody who loves them so much that they watch one of them every night for 3 years straight.
Every night?
Every damn night. So yeah, I'm out on the Peter Jackson movies. So I've seen him 1,000 times though. So.
Well, I can't say that that's not unusual. I've been forced to watch Harry Potter films over and over and over again. I've been unfortunate. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with them, but I've been in places where I was unfortunate enough to be stuck somewhere, have nothing else to do, and a Harry Potter marathon came on, and it was every movie all the way up. I don't even think the second of the I don't even think the very last one that came out, like the second part, but they were doing a marathon. I was like, I don't want to watch this.
Yeah,
And
I made a mistake in Cat and Shadow's stream earlier today. I put something in the chat that I think made a bunch of people mad.
what you said?
I said that I've been sick of hearing about Harry Potter for going on 20 years.
That'll do it.
Yeah, because I have been. Because it's not a franchise I give a damn about or ever have. I understand there's a lot of people out there who really love it, and great, good for you guys. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it brings you joy forever. It's not for me. And I'm kind of tired of hearing people talk about it in the same way that I'm tired of hearing people talk about Star Wars.
I should do a whole series on Star Wars then.
Yeah. So, no, that's pretty cool. I like physical copies of books myself. Actually, Shadow was talking about that earlier. And the fact is you do absorb information from a page more easily and completely than you do from a screen. So, physical copies are always good. Plus, there's just something about them. They smell a certain way. They feel a certain way to your fingertips. And yeah, there's a tactile experience to it that you can't get with like a Kindle or what have you. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's like whatever. I found out about those Fantastic Beasts movies when they first started making those. Everybody's like, "Oh yeah, this looks exciting." I was like, "No, this looks like The Sorcerer's Apprentice with Nicolas Cage all over again." and then there's like, "No, it's part of the Harry Potter franchise." And I was like, "Oh, that explains why I didn't like it." I didn't actually see those movies either. They may be very good. I don't know. I'm not going to watch them.
Well, the good thing, on their end, they've made too much money to be worried about what you think about them anyway. So they're probably like, oh, so what?
Yeah. it just well, and that's the thing. It's like my not watching them isn't hurting their numbers at all, and it's not hurting anybody who does enjoy them and wants to watch them. I don't have any issue with that. You know, if somebody likes what they like, great. You know, that's I mean, there's stuff I'm a fan of that almost nobody I know likes, which is fine because it brings me joy. It doesn't have to bring anybody else joy, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, name one.
Hellraiser.
Well, yeah. Well, then that sentence you just said is not necessarily true.
It does bring me joy.
No, I mean, well, I know Hellraiser brings you joy. It's what you wish for, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So, but I mean, like, you know, in terms of, like, you may be one of the only other people I know who really likes those movies, you know, or even if you don't really like them, you get why I do.
Yeah, I know why. Because if reincarnation is real, you're going to be asked to come back as a Cenobite.
I will be the Cenobite.
I know you would. That's what worries me.
So, but you know, whereas the vast majority of other people, my family and friends, especially in real life, they don't get it. They do not get the attraction. They think it's sick in the head. And to a degree, I will grant them that. That's true. It is a little bit, but you know, it is. It's just it's a fandom that I've always liked, and not everybody. It's not for everybody. You know, Stargate's another one. Like, while people I know personally love that series, it's really not as widely received as something like Star Trek or Star Wars. It just isn't. You know,
It's to me, it's a cult favorite. I
yeah,
mean, everybody knows. Well, most people know what Stargate is.
yeah. So, you know, and it's just, so I guess my overall point here is that, you know, you like what you like, whatever fandoms you're a part of. Don't let anybody tell you can't be. Yeah. So, Kree shall knock Jaffa.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
And Michelle
Yeah.
likes the craft and practical magic. Who else?
Actually, those are
Chronicles
now
of Narnia. Yeah,
the craft and practical magic both. I would actually say practical magic is the better of the two movies, but they're both pretty good.
the
You know,
craft got pretty serious towards the end. I was like,
well,
"Ooh, that last fight."
it is technically a horror movie.
Did you see the second one?
No, 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 I did not. You kidding me? A movie like that made in this day and age? No, I don't want anything to do with that.
Yeah, it was. It was. I think it was made for. I think it was a direct to video.
Yeah, no, I don't remember. I think it might actually have enjoyed about a month in theaters, but maybe it was direct to video. I don't know. I know I didn't watch it. I know that the handful of people who did watch, who talked about it, didn't fucking like it.
Yeah, yeah. It's yeah. Well,
So even
Creed back to you, Shadow.
even Michelle, we do not speak of that abomination.
That's why I asked. I've never seen it, but I've never seen it. But I heard that sequel was horrible.
Yeah, and you know what? When you hear a pagan use the word heresy, you know somebody's going to die.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, it's yeah, you know, Stargate is a great show. I like. What was the other one that she mentioned?
See the
I just
craft,
scrolled up
practical
here a little
magic.
bit.
You got Star Chronicles of Narnia.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The
I heard
books
people
are
didn't like Prince Caspian.
the books are great. All of the books are great. As far as the movies go, Prince Caspian was a little weak. It was still watchable. It was still pretty good. There were still some great characters and stuff in it, but it wasn't on the same level. You know what I mean? And Voyage of the Dawn Treader was almost like watching a different series. You know, it's still good, but it just didn't feel like it was, you know, as connected as it should have been to. And that this is probably a production thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they stopped making them after Voyage of the Dawn Treader, which is a shame because there are 4 more books. Yeah, but they're really good. I quite like me some C.S. Lewis.
Nice, 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 nice.
Oh, he's an excellent author. And part of the reason that Tolkien was as well received as he was because Tolkien was a historian, not an author. or not a fiction author. And so he forged friendship with C.S. Lewis and a couple of other contemporaries, and kind of worked it out. But you'll notice that the Lord of the Rings, which takes place 60 years after the Hobbit, was published 5 years before the Hobbit. And you can tell because when you get to the Hobbit, it reads like a story, whereas when you read the Lord of the Rings, a lot of the times it kind of meanders into this very dry retelling of ancient history kind of feel. So but yeah, that's C.S. Lewis did some good shit. He did some great characters. As a matter of fact, James McAvoy, the actor.
Yeah.
All right, first thing I ever saw him in was as Mr. Tumnus in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Really?
Yeah, he broke my damn heart in that movie. He was really good. So, hey, Mira. that's not gonna happen, not yet.
Yeah, we're early into the show.
Yeah. Well, we would be a little bit further along, but Larry had to spend like the first half hour berating all of us because he's first.
Whoa. First of all, I didn't berate quote all of us. I left a lot of people out because a lot of people have not been challenging my authority in this matter.
Respect my authority.
Dang right.
Oh man, that's funny. There was something I saw the other day that was really hilarious too. What was it? I can't
Hey,
remember.
look at what Michelle just posted. What Michelle just said.
No, that's excellent. So, once
Everybody, be sure to check out Michelle's poetry book when it comes out. Michelle, please let us know when it comes out.
once again, Michelle, yeah, email me and Larry with the title and the name that you use on the cover of the book, and we will actually. You know what would be better is if you could email us a link to the Amazon thing, so I could just like plug the link, so we could send people directly to it. Would be good. So, yeah, but when when it is, I don't know. Are you doing pre-orders?
That's a good question.
So, because if you're doing pre-orders, we could start sending people there now, I suppose. So, but yeah, if it's not available yet, then that's fine. I do stream at crazy hours, but that's because I don't sleep. You know?
The man really doesn't.
I have a day job and I don't sleep at night, so that's what it is. Even when I want to sleep, it just it eludes me. Sleep like joy is something that happens to other people.
Yeah, well, not me, apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have been sleeping. I would have had some great sleep last night. I would have, but for some reason that didn't quite happen. I wonder why.
I mean, somebody could always turn the volume down. Just saying.
Somebody could choose to play Evil West at a better time
It's a horror game. What better time than like the stroke of midnight?
because you were trying to scare me to death. Come watch me play Evil West. I'm like, I'm not trying to have nightmares.
Oh man. Yeah, so that's that's
I mean,
that. So
you could
back
have
on
done that. Like, do your gaming like at noon on Tuesdays or something.
I'm at work at noon on Tuesdays.
Quit.
No. So back on the War of the Rohirrim topic. Did you have any thoughts on that? Are you looking forward to it?
The only thing I can say, I do have some thoughts. As great as the Battle of Helm's Deep was in the Two Towers, can you imagine? First of all, can you imagine the pressure that is on that film and crew? Because that battle, that Helm's Deep is named not just after that man, but the battle that he had in Helm's Deep. So they have to create a battle that is worthy of that area being called Helm's Deep.
Well, and you have to keep in mind too that what we saw in the Peter Jackson movies were civilizations of the West in decline. Like Rohan was dying out, Gondor was at its weakest moment, and they rose up and fought epic battles against the darkness. And so that should give you the kind of standard that it sets for their forebears, their ancestors.
Mhm.
So
But that battle's going to be a bit. I have high hopes for that battle.
officially, Amir, because I don't know, I didn't realize. I thought they were fucking around a little bit, but we had gotten that situation. Regardless of that, Amir, tomorrow let's get together. I got some other stuff I want to go over with you,
Yep,
and then we'll catch up on that and get out whatever news we need to.
we'll have a meeting.
So
So next up, now I have to ask you this. Well, next up is a title I call "Disrespect Costs $1 Million." Um, as many of you know, going back to work now, it's creating a lot of issues. People are quitting their jobs left and right because you know, basically a lot of companies are putting an end to remote work. Uh, if you're an IT person and you were working at Google or somewhere like that, you are not happy right now. Chances are, I'm sure that with all the layoffs that just came, it just went down. Um, so I know we normally talk, it's supposed to be pop culture and things like that, but issues like this is a part of life too. And
yeah,
I kind of scratch my head. Um, Now I understand maybe right now a lot of companies feel like they have the upper hand because of what's going on. But this article doesn't even say what the name of the company is, and it's $1 million company. So that's not saying much these days.
no, a
I
million
mean,
dollar company is pretty small.
yeah, that's very small. But telling employees no call offs, and people are dragging them. Okay, that's fine. But
I I don't know if the this title is correct though. It says are rightfully dragging them because
yeah, I
like
don't
if
get that.
$1 million company is small, they need all hands on deck,
Right.
right?
Which
So
hence the call offs. So I mean, it's just looking at this article. Uh, it seemed to me, I think what upset people, and as if you scroll down, it's not just the fact that that people are um, were upset about the no call offs. It was the language that was used. It was a post-it that was put on all of their. You just went, you scroll down to it and then you went back up, but there was notes put on their in their cubicles. There it
oh,
is.
I think I saw this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There will be no call offs, no babysitter, find one, child sick, buy some medicine, you're sick, buy some medicine. So, okay, car trouble, call an Uber. Um, well, here's the problem when you run into stuff like this. Now you scroll it back up and you don't have to. Um, it says people are quitting their jobs in mass, which I don't understand why. It's as hard as it is for a lot of people to find jobs right now. But when I'm looking at this company and I'm thinking, no babysitter, find one. Child sick, buy some medicine. You're sick, buy some medicine. Car trouble, call an Uber. If this is true, they're begging for a lawsuit because there is a law called FMLA, a federal law that covers these type of situations.
Well, I get that, but at the same time, they're not saying no call offs accepted ever. This was for a specific weekend.
Yeah, but that still could put them in some legal trouble. It doesn't help that they itemize some examples that are covered by federal law. Well, I mean the car trouble, that's you know that's debatable.
I
But
was going to say I've never worked for anybody I mean, I've worked for people who were lenient about that, but no, you're not protected for car trouble. You're still
no,
responsible for getting to work.
yeah, you still got to get to work. But the no babysitter, the child sick, you're sick. So I've got the flu or I've got COVID-19. You want me to buy some cough syrup and come into work and infect other people? Okay, all
Yeah.
right.
See, where I work, policy is if you're sick and you come to work, you could get fired
Yeah.
because it's after the last couple of years, people are really paranoid about catching anything. Uh, but yeah, the no babysitter thing. I've also worked for a lot of people who had that same policy. You know, it's not their problem, and frankly, it isn't their problem.
No, it's not.
You know,
But you can't tell somebody that they can't call off if their child is sick or if they're sick. That's what I believe would get them into some kind of legal trouble.
that depends. Did this take place in an at-will state?
It doesn't matter if it's at will. It's federal law. The at will has and people don't understand that even when they say at will, there's certain legal guidelines. There's still certain ways that they can still be sued. They can still get into some legal trouble. And 3 out of 4 of these examples right here cover that. They get in a lot of trouble for that.
Well, if they've been in business for a while, there are also ways to get around that too.
Well, good luck with that. But in the meantime, they're going before a judge. They're probably going to get sued. And the state's probably going to go after them too.
See, now this says we're $1 million company. This doesn't necessarily mean that they're paying their employees that much, that much money. And the reason I'm getting into this is because most of the time down here in blue collar land where I live, if you get fired for whatever reason, right? Especially in an at-will state, they with or without cause. It's standard on both sides. You could
Yes,
quit at any time with or without cause. They can,
I'm very
right.
well aware of at will employment law.
So what I'm getting at is that people who working stiffs can't afford to take a company to court. They just can't do it.
They don't have to. They can go. They can go through the not the district attorney, the attorney general. The attorney general will sue them on their behalf. Target got sued by like that. Target got sued. It was a similar situation to this, but yeah,
Well,
Target and a few other companies got sued like that.
I don't know.
So
I think that that's still like I've seen this kind of thing happen time and time again, and generally people won't sue either because they think they can't afford it because
yeah,
they think
because
that
they
it's too
don't.
much trouble, and they need the
Well, they don't know
and
what they can do. They don't know that they can go to the. They don't know that they can go to the attorney general. The
well,
attorney general will sue them on their behalf. They
well,
probably weren't aware of that.
meantime, they've got other concerns like feeding family, like paying the rent, that sort of thing. So the first thing they're going to do, instead of looking for a recourse, they're going to be upset about it, sure, but they're going to go out and try and find other work.
Well, that's fine, and that's the point of calling the attorney general because the attorney general will do the legwork, not them.
Uh,
They can go get another job, and the attorney general will still handle it. How
that
do I
also
know? How
that
do I
also
know that? How do I know that? Because my wife got a check in the mail for $5,000 because a company that she applied to work at 5 years prior did not hire her, and somebody sued them, and she wasn't even in that state at the time. My wife hadn't been in that state in 5 years, and somebody had sued them that year, and she ended up with it, and they went through the attorney general, and the attorney general sued them on behalf of this other person.
Well, if that works out for these employees, great. It doesn't generally for most of the time. It never even comes up.
That's because they don't know what to do, or they just don't bother. If they don't bother, then of course nothing's going to happen. If you don't bother,
At the same time, man, I'm seeing here in this article that they're really down on the specific wording of this, not in a legal sense, but just in it's harsh and it hurts my feelings. Since I get the feeling that this is somebody who's never had any real trouble in their life who wrote this article.
I don't doubt that. But
Because
that's not what I was concentrating on, though. What I was concentrating on was it's not the person who just says, "Oh, my feeling got hurt, and so I'm going to sue." Well, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the person that something legit happens, and they and the company fires them for catching COVID-19 and not coming in. You see what I'm saying? Those are the scenarios that I'm thinking about. That's the scenario that's going to get somebody in trouble. Not they see a sticky, because the company can try to say whatever they want. They can, hey, well, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Okay, well, you're going to do what you're going to do. I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and we'll see who's right. But I do believe, looking at and I agree with you, looking at the way this article was written, um, I definitely think that is. I definitely think that it's somebody that's not used to hearing things that they don't like to hear. So,
yeah,
and let's face it, the business world is different from any other world for that matter. I mean, when you start talking about money.
Hey, Shadow's got something he wants to ask you here.
Just want to make sure I'm not. If you want me to stop, I'll stop faster than Peter tonight. Shadow, I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, he wouldn't be online with the rest of us if he couldn't handle a little mudslinging.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that at all.
And the fact is what we do is good natured, and it's meant in fun. We're not attacking each other. So even that shit that I post with you, Shadow, is not meant seriously. So
yeah, no, Shadow, you're fine.
Yeah, you're good, brother. So but yeah, but like you see down here, it's like we're $1 million company, let's act like one. I mean, not by using that $1 million to hire some temporary help in case someone gets sick during the busiest time of the year. I mean, by working through illness. So that is an asinine statement, probably made by somebody who doesn't actually balance the books in that company, because $1 million isn't much.
No, it's not.
And if that's their overhead,
I mean, they're going to pay more than that in taxes and payroll. They're not even getting paid yet.
They're not, and they're also not taking into account exactly how much money it costs to train a new employee, temporary or not. I mean, and putting chips in somebody else like that. I mean, it just, it's a dumb statement made by somebody who doesn't have any idea what they're talking about. Probably somebody who's college age and thinks that they know how the world works better than people who've been living in it longer.
So you caught that too.
Yeah. Yeah. See, and like that $1 million is already budgeting the salaries of the employees that they have, taking care of any taxation that they got to do, because they probably do their taxes quarterly. Covers any overhead or other costs of business, like say it's a warehouse of some kind. You've got shrinkage to worry about, right? Shit disappears, right? You've got a budget for that.
Yeah, if it's $1 million, they're probably operating in the red and are getting ready to borrow money just to stay afloat. Because the taxes alone is going to hit $1 million easy.
Yeah, and God forbid, like a customer sue them or anything. Shadow's bingo on the money here. Legal fees. You have to have some budgeted and set aside for that, and you can't dip into that because you may need it.
Yep. You have to have insurance.
That's one of the things that really got me about people talking about. So obviously I have a problem with the IRS and with taxation in general as far as funding federal government goes, because frankly, I don't think we need them. However, I do understand a little bit about how allocation of funds works. And a lot of the people who were saying, well, just take this money from this thing over here and use it over there. That's not how it works. You can't legally do that in a lot of cases. Yeah. Well, they do, but they're not like, supposed to. Like, for instance, there was, I lived in this town in Colorado for a while, and there was a push to get the local community center was getting a facelift with like, $1 million marble friggin' pillars and all kinds of stuff that was unnecessary. There was some structural work that was necessary because the building was old, but some of this stuff was just like, oh, let's just throw all this stuff on there. And so at the time I was an employee of that city, and I was just like, why don't they just take like one of those pillars out, and they could balance the budget of the city for the next fucking year. But that was about the time I started learning about this stuff, and I realized that they couldn't, because that was allocated through donations. So it was donated by citizens specifically for that. They couldn't move it out of that budget.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just, I don't know. I get what you're saying about how, these maybe it was a little bit harsh and a little too direct and possibly actionable even. However, it sounds to me like the people who were most upset about this were probably like, young millennials and Zoomers, babies.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
Who get their feelings hurt about that. Let me look at this phrase right here. Before humble bragging. That's not a fucking humble brag. It's a statement.
Yeah. I mean, I admit, like, if I was working at this company and I saw that, I would have had no emotion for it one way or the other, because I know what I can do. If I'm sick, if I can't get in, if I'm sick or my child is sick, I now have to choose what's most important. If I've got the flu or something, am I going to risk infecting other people? Because guess what? This guy could get this company could say, no, call us within this day. Okay, well, I come in there, and those 2 days go by fine. But then next thing you know, the next 4 or 5 days, they've got 3, 4 people calling sick, because including me, or not including me, because I just infected them all. Now they've got a bigger problem that they had these 2 days.
Right, and that costs them a bunch of money, probably in lost wages, depending on
Correct.
what their sick pay plan is. And yeah,
Correct.
and it's that is, like, they're jacked either way, but
Yeah.
some of that.
And even if they do fire somebody, and let's say they fire somebody for calling in, and that person doesn't take any legal recourse, now they've got to spend money to train somebody else.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's a bit of a conundrum. But if I were that company and I had a bunch of babies going online and bitching about how awful it was to work there because they saw a note that they didn't like, I would fire every single one of them and replace them with people who wanted to work.
Okay.
In a heartbeat.
Well, glad you don't want to be. Well, so what are you trying to say? So if I was sick, so if I couldn't show up tonight because of me having the flu.
No.
So when I try to log in next Thursday, I was going to see a clown.
Now
my access was going to be blocked like Google, and it was going to be a clown.
Now you're putting words in my mouth, and also I don't pay you. So no, no. What I'm saying is, like, they went on social media and started fucking talking shit about their employer publicly.
Well, that's never a good practice. I mean,
No,
yes,
it isn't.
freedom of speech, but that is never, ever, 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 ever a good idea.
No, it isn't. And if they were gonna do that, if they're gonna publicly go out and denounce their employer and still expect to have a job on Monday, fuck that.
And didn't some former Twitter
I'd
employee,
eat the cost.
Didn't some former Twitter employees just have their case thrown out? They were suing. I think, didn't they sue Elon for firing them?
Yeah,
because they didn't want to work.
Yeah, and the judge said, no, you were stupid about this, and you shouldn't have been, but it's your fault. So, because they weren't working when they were there, if they were there at all. That was the big thing, is a lot of those people got fired because they were not doing their job, or they were not coming into the office to do their job. And he put out an edict when he took over saying, if you want to keep your job, you need to get your ass in here and do some work. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
So
hey, is Amir still on? Because Josh is saying that he looked for her and your page popped up.
Okay. I will. Let me grab the links for that, and I'll just pop them into the chat. Meanwhile, I forwarded Michelle's latest poem to you.
Okay. Give me a quick second. I got to take care of something. I'll be right back.
Okay. Well, while I look for these links here, I will drop them both in the chat for you guys. So That way, if you are not subscribed, you can do so as soon as possible here. All right, first one. Okay. Yeah, no problem, Josh. So this first one is Amira's new YouTube channel. And this second one will be her Rumble link. It should be pretty obvious. I mean, one of them's got Rumble in the name. So, all right. And my partner in crime there has run off and left me to fend for myself. And
I did not. I had to take care of something really quick.
There I am floundering.
Or do you
drowning.
guys want to know? Or do you guys want the story behind that?
I'm just fucking with you, man. Yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, once again, before we get into the poem, I'm going to reiterate the two links that I just dropped in the chat are to Amira's new YouTube channel and her new Rumble. If you would, if you'd like to keep up with that stuff, please go over to those links and subscribe to them. We are going to start most likely streaming on the new channel and not so much the old one. For obvious reasons that we've been going over for the last few weeks. And we are currently trying to get Rumble up to 100 subscribers so we can stream from there as well.
Yeah, we're planning on, I mean, the current trend is a lot of people they're going onto their YouTube channels for about an hour or so, and then they're switching over to Rumble and then just letting loose. And I suspect I suggested that's the route that we take, because if they're going to start striking this channel now, you want to make it hard for them to have an excuse. It's like, okay, now why are you doing this?
Well, we'll see how it goes because, she's going to do what she wants to do with it, whether we agree or not.
Okay. So, I am going to, Michelle, I'll answer your question after I read this poem. So, guys, Michelle has blessed us with another poem tonight. And I already like the title. It's Cirque du Soleil. Cirque du Soleil. Thank you. I can never get that thing right.
All right, it's French. That's why it's French. No, because it's a dumb language with too many freaking vowels that make no sense.
Well, the only French thing I know is French fries, and French fries are from Belgium. So
they're delicious too.
Yeah, especially with sea salt. Anyway, Cirque du Soleil. Cirque du Soleil.
Good night, Shadow.
As a blood moon rises, Cirque du Soleil, we haunt the dreams of mortals. We are the circus of immortal night. Sweet Macrobee lullaby, we haunt the living in a shadow of midnight. The greatest show. Songs of screams, creatures of wonder. Ghosts and spirits come to play where vampires, werewolves dance Cirque du Soleil. We are the children of immortal. Join us in the night in a circus of delight, Cirque du Soleil. Leave behind all sorrow. Let the darkness and the magic seduce. Let the darkness sing. A dark wanting. Let the moonlight encapture Cirque du Soleil. We are the children of immortal. Join us in the night in a circus of delight, Cirque du Soleil. Songs of screams, creatures of wonder, ghosts and spirits come to play where vampires and werewolves dance, Cirque du Soleil. Beautiful.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Anyhow.
You may continue. I'm answering Michelle's question.
Yeah, good night, Shadow. Anyhow. Tell me to try Mandarin. Well, yeah, it's funny. because I have an ear for languages and I'm pretty good at pronunciations and stuff. No, I can't fucking read it, dude. Uh, but I only have like limited phrases in about a half dozen languages that I can actually speak and understand. Very, very limited. You know, I know a little bit of Russian, a little bit of Spanish. I understand more Spanish than I can actually speak, but and I can read some of it, and I can read some Russian, some minute amounts, but some. Let's see if I can read this. Let me
Oh my goodness.
let Suka prove how full of shit I am. Right?
Get the translator. Get the translator
I
out.
think that says Slokoinoi.
It says Mother Russia
Noish.
on my cup.
It does not actually. Yeah, so Suka knows more about it than I do. Like I said, but very, 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 very little. Ah, it's for Shadow. Yeah, so, but every once in a while you'll hear a language or something that like a phrase or something that sticks with you, and like "xie xie" is always something that stuck with me from Mandarin, which is thank you. So,
Every time I hear Mandarin, I keep thinking about oranges.
well, were they not developed in China
I don't know.
once upon a time? I think they're probably named after the region. No. Sort of like tequila and champagne are like things that you find all over the world, but they're actually named after specific regions in both Mexico and France.
Mm.
And technically, if you didn't get it from tequila, Mexico, or from Champagne, France, they're neither of those things. It's just sparkling wine and an agave based liqueur.
Mm. Well, I'll tell you something that's not from China or from as far as I know, it's not from Tequila, Mexico, or any of those other places. But it's something that you like anyway, and that's Xbox.
I don't like Xbox.
Yeah, you do.
We've had this conversation. No, I don't. I fucking hate Microsoft and their products.
Aren't you using their products right now?
No. Well, yeah, a little bit, but only because I don't have a choice, and because, frankly, Apple is worse.
Well, you got me there.
Apple is worse. So, these are my options. I don't have anything that'll run Linux.
I know some. Yeah, I know a lot of things aren't really. They're not really willing to run Linux anymore. But no, I put this topic on here because I figured I would get a kick out of it. I figured I'd get a kick out of your response because I already know what you're going to say. If you've looked at the topic behind the behind this, if you've looked at the link, there's a reason why I call it woke box. So Microsoft has decided, in the interest of climate control, they are now offering a downloadable update. I wouldn't even say offering because I'm pretty sure it's mandatory. But basically, the update will turn your Xbox into a climate friendly machine. So it will reduce its carbon footprint. Um, it will reduce the amount of CO2s it uses, the fossil fuels, the whole nine. Um, I'm not sure what kind of changes that's gonna. I don't know how it's gonna affect gamers. I mean, do you have to where you have to wait 20 minutes for the thing to start up? I have no idea, but I do know that a lot of conservatives hit the roof when this came out, and there's dozens of articles of people making fun of them. Even I think even they said even Ted Cruz said something about it.
Yeah. Well, it isn't just that. I mean, it's pissed off a lot of gamers too, as it should, because it's one more bit of evidence that the machine that is in your possession does not belong to you. It still belongs to the company you just paid for a lease.
Yeah.
Which is it's horseshit. You remember back when they were jailbreaking PS3s a few years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. You remember what happened? They
No.
started bricking people's machines
Is that why they did that?
and banning them from PSN forever. Yeah. Yeah, that's why it started happening. Is they were getting word that people were modifying or upgrading their machines, and they didn't like that. It's in the terms of service when you buy the damn thing. They could shut it down at any time. So, oh yeah, no problem, Josh.
What are they worried about though?
They're worried. The official wording is a worry about, at least for the PS3 thing, reverse engineering proprietary technology. That was the wording that was used to
You
justify.
bought the machine. The machine is yours.
Apparently, it isn't. So, real quick, Boa, non-existent at all. I know what Habibi means, and now I know what Habibti means. But
I don't even know what either of those mean.
That's about it. As a matter of fact, I'm so bad at Arabic that not that long ago, Amira tricked me into apparently converting to Islam.
That was funny when she did that. That was funny when she did that, and I tried to tell you, I was like, "Don't do it." And she's okay, Samuel, you just repeat after me, and you can trust me because
Yeah, and
I wouldn't do anything to you.
my half awake, never sleep ass didn't think twice.
And you swore loyalty to Allah, and you didn't even know it. Apparently. I was rolling. I was like, "Don't do it."
I don't think it counts if I didn't know what I was saying.
You shouldn't have said it.
I know I shouldn't. I was so tired that night.
And she got you good too, because you hadn't slept in a couple of days, and you were so incoherent. You weren't even listening to me. I was like, and guys, you don't know how this went because she's all, oh well, because Amir has in her head that, well, I believe it too, that there is the perfect girlfriend, the best woman that will be great for him. I'm not going to say this person's name.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
In his incoherent state, Samuel's like, no, I don't know what you guys talking about. And then Amira goes, well, I'm gonna help you. You just go ahead and just listen to me, Samuel. I'm gonna say something that you repeat after me. And I'm like, Samuel, don't. She was like, no, you guys know me. You guys are my brothers. You can trust me, Samuel. And I'm like, Samuel, don't do it. She goes, shut the hell up, Larry. Anyway, you guys go ahead and repeat this. And then she starts saying stuff in Arabic, and I'm just like, man, this is not gonna go well. There's no telling what she's doing. And he's blah, blah, blah. She's like, hey, okay, say this. And he's blah, 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 blah. And they're going through the whole nine. And then she goes, congratulations. You just converted. And Samuel's like, what? She's like, yeah. You just swore an oath to Allah. Congratulations.
And the two of these guys were cackling their heads off, and I'm still trying to figure out what the hell just happened.
Because you gotta understand that the person that she had in mind is Muslim, and apparently, in order for Samuel to date and marry her, he's the one that has to convert. So Amira tricked him into swearing loyalty to Allah and converting to Islam so that she could bring the two of them together. I tried to tell you, but like hey, grown man, who cares?
Well,
if you haven't slept in 3 days at that point.
I'm already a heretic and a pagan and a heathen. I might as well add apostate to it.
But I just thought that was funny. I mean, she got you good.
Yeah, that was unexpected, and actually, honestly, I didn't even remember that happened a couple days later. They had to remind me about it because I was so tired that night that I'm pretty sure I slept through that whole thing.
Yeah, the funny thing was how mad you were when you realized exactly what it was that you had done, and you couldn't blame anybody but yourself. Because, like I said, I tried to tell you. I tried.
Oh, I could blame her. She knew what she was doing.
No, you can't blame her.
I can too.
You are a grown man. You didn't have to do what she said.
You're right. You're right. And you could turn your notifications off.
That's a completely separate thing.
Nope.
You asked me to keep it on for you.
I don't
And so
remember
I
saying
agreed.
that.
I do, and that's all that matters. Anyway,
Convenient.
hey, the truth sometimes the truth is convenient to the person who tells it. Now, anyway, and it's still the truth. But anyway, as far as I know, I don't know if you're Muslim or not, but you chose to say what you said, so I mean, it is what it is, man. I mean,
Again, I don't think Allah's gonna see it that way because I didn't know what I was saying. So,
well, I mean, oh well. But yeah, guys, man, the time just flew by. We ran out of time. We didn't even have time we didn't even get to the fantasy movie quiz or we didn't even get to it. So guys, here's what we'll do, because I've definitely got to get to bed. I've got to get the sun up. What we will do is we will carry over the fantasy quiz to next week. And the trailer, by the way, was for Shazam Part 2. And so next week will be the last. It will be at least for this time around, it'll be the last phase of our fantasy movie, fantasy genre. Then we'll probably move on to comedy or something like that. I'm thinking comedy. And then we'll come back around because fantasy never dies. We'll definitely have some more stuff. Also, guys, we're gonna start taking count of what you guys, what do you like? Do you guys like that we do the quizzes? Sometimes, like I said, we're really gonna start expanding on some things and doing some different things. I'm trying to get a hold of there's some other stuff I'm trying to get a hold of. I'm not gonna say just yet, so make sure it's all working through. Hey, good night, Sasquatch. But guys, thank you so much for coming through. You got anything to say, Samuel, or have I cut things off early?
I mean, a few minutes here or there, it doesn't really matter. I think we had a pretty good conversation anyway. So, just that. Thanks again for coming. Anybody who's new is watching this is a regular show Larry and I do on Thursdays. There's a bigger show that we do on Saturday afternoons called Screaming into the Void. That's the main show of the channel. And then I've obviously, much to Larry's disappointment, gotten back into gaming streaming here recently, and there will be more of that to come.
I'm fine with it. It's just this last night I was like, really? Of all the days that I was like, okay. I mean, no, I support all your ventures, man. I was just out of it last night. I was like, oh my gosh, for all the okay. But thank you, Josh. Anything else, sir? I want to make sure I didn't cut you off.
No, I'm that's about it. It's been kind of a weird long day anyway. So but yeah, good to see all of you guys again. Boa, Suka, Josh, welcome. You're more than welcome to hang out whenever we've got something going on. Also, go check out Linus's new stuff if you haven't already. Or, well, there's nothing on it yet. We're working towards that. But anyway, go sub to that. And unless you want to sleep, then don't turn the notifications on, I guess. I'm not going to let that go. Squatch, good to see you, buddy. Everybody shows up. Michelle, always glad to see you guys. And we will see you next time. Remember, it could always be worse. It could be raining flaming cobras.
Or you could be a joker who thinks he's first.
Good night, everybody.
What is it you pray?